Today on the Topping Show, Trump says don't vote for Vivek. Vivek responds in the most classy possible way and gets a record amount of positive feedback. District Attorney Fani Willis stole from taxpayers that goes viral for saying she simply quote-unquote stumbled. BMW beat Mercedes and Audi in 2023 sales. Costco to crack down on non-members sneaking into the stores. Bud Light Manning scores he is, well, for very few points indeed. And Toyota Supra sales have crashed in 2023. All of that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of Topping Show is sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of January, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have BMW beating Mercedes and Audi for 2023 sales. Now, they are perhaps one of the most premier automotive companies that are moderately dedicated to keeping the three pedals alive. Also known as the stick shift, also known as manual transmission, also known as the best experience you'll have driving, bar none. If you have never had that opportunity, I highly recommend going out there, either driving one of those vehicles or better yet, purchasing one of those vehicles new to send manufacturers a message that there are still people who care about a true driving automotive fun experience. But nevertheless, I partially digress. Now this comes to us thanks to BMW blog. Specifically, it's by the writer Horatio Boreo. And they noted that in terms of 2023 luxury sales, BMW beat them both out. It looks like the Munich-based company, they had a record selling 362,244 units of its core brand in the U.S. market, marking a 9% increase. So someone in their sales and or marketing department probably going to get a raise this year. Or at least they probably deserve a raise because that is a phenomenal growth rate, especially when you have pretty heavy competition. Now, they did note that despite its strong fourth quarter, their rival Mercedes-Benz will finish in last year in third place. The Stuttgart-based automotive manufacturer reported total sales of 351,746 units in 2023, which, granted, is increased, but that's only increased by 0.2% compared to 2022. If you exclude the number of vans, the overall sales in the U.S. are even lower, 282,229 units, which, geez Louise, sometimes we forget how much of a big commercial footprint Mercedes has, because not obviously, but when most people think about consumable materials and going to the dealership, we think of the sedans, and when we think of vans, we think of pejorative minivans, which are, many would say, soulless, boring vehicles with no stick shifts a majority of the time. But commercial vans are a huge segment for Mercedes, and a lot of industrial, small businesses and many companies utilize those vehicles for that particular application. That is an astonishing large amount of their sales. Now, it looks like they know that Lexus is making a little bit of a comeback, but still nowhere close. So, be interested to see again. Gotta respect BMW. They're not the most dedicated to the stick shift and three pedals. Truth be told, at last automotive convention, I went. Oh, not really convention. BMW sponsors the Dallas half marathon, ultra marathon, 5K, pretty much every running rate, every iteration of the race in December every year, and since they're the core sponsor, they have all their vehicles at the packet pickup and throughout the whole event. And all their vehicles there are the ones that they want to send a message of, this is our favorite vehicles, this is the ones we want to push, this is our vision of the company. And truth be told, all the ones that they had there were all boring, aka they had two pedals. They're all automatic, most of them are electric. Which again, BMW they're known for actually the longest automotive advertisement in history is BMW, the ultimate driving experience, or the ultimate driving machine. It's one of those things where, I don't know, to me, you'll never get that with just two pedals. But it's interesting to see BMW's slowly increasing the luxury market. Let me know, have you ever owned a BMW? Would you ever want one? I recently gave them kudos for having over 50% sales rate for the M2, which, granted, we got to give those kudos to the consumers since they're the one actually purchasing the product and telling BMW, hey, we still have a stick shift, even though when you talk to your president and a couple of your executives, you say you're worried about supply chain, you might not be able to get clutches in a couple of years, which, again, if the market is there, make them yourself. Again, I'm not sure the volume or the price point that would need to actually have that be a break-even or a profit segment of the company. But nevertheless, it is interesting. BMW continue to grow. And they're pretty unique in terms of, still you'd argue family owned or family controlled, with the Quandt family, one of the most fascinating, mysterious families out there. One of my favorite books, truth be told, is driven by, is a brilliant author, but it's called BMW Driven. It kind of tells you about the automotive history of the company. But it'll be interesting to see if they keep this growth rate up in 2024. But as I often say, time shall tell. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Don't forget to leave a comment and like. That's a great way to give me some additional feedback. And of course, I want to make the shows better and better and better. Also, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.